For more than a century, one creature has ruled both science and imagination. The Tyrannosaurus rex has been painted, sculpted, filmed, and feared as the undisputed king of the dinosaurs. Its jaws could crush bone, its teeth were the size of daggers, and its very name means tyrant lizard king. But what if the T-Rex was never truly the greatest of them all? What if somewhere in the layers of deep time, there lived another predator larger, faster, or even more terrifying? This is the story of how the crown of the dinosaur world has been challenged, and the journey through prehistory to find the real king. Our story begins in the late Cretaceous period, about 66 million years ago, in what is now Western North America. The landscape was a patchwork of rivers, swamps, and forests, teeming with life. Herds of horned triceratops grazed on ferns, while armored ankylosaurs lumbered through the undergrowth. Above them, the shadow of T-Rex moved like a storm. It was a perfect hunter, its vision sharp, its bite crushing at more than 8,000 pounds of force. When it struck, there was no escape. For decades, paleontologists and the public alike saw it as nature's ultimate design, the final and most lethal dinosaur of them all. But science does not rest on myth. As new fossils surfaced and technology advanced, a more complicated story began to unfold. The T-Rex, while magnificent, may not have been the absolute ruler of its world. It shared the throne with rivals that could match or even exceed its power. To understand this, we must go further back in time, to the early Cretaceous plains of what is now Africa. There, about 100 million years ago, another monster stalked the rivers. It was longer than a school bus and heavier than a tank. Its spine rose in a massive sail. Its skull stretched into a crocodile-like snout filled with conical teeth, built for gripping slippery prey. This was Spinosaurus aegyptiacus, the river king. Unlike T-Rex, which dominated dry land, Spinosaurus ruled the waterways. Its world was a labyrinth of swamps, lakes, and slow rivers where fish the size of cars swam beneath the surface. It hunted in both worlds, land and water, making it the first known semi-aquatic dinosaur. Discovered in Egypt by the German paleontologist Ernst Stromer in 1912, Spinosaurus remained a shadow for nearly a century. Its fossils were destroyed during a bombing raid in World War II, and for decades scientists could only speculate about its appearance. Then, in the early 2000s, new discoveries in Morocco and Egypt brought the creature back to life. Its spine was taller than any known predator, its body longer than T-Rex, and its proportions unlike anything else in the fossil record. At more than 50 feet long, Spinosaurus may have been the largest carnivorous dinosaur ever to live. But was it the true king? Not all scientists agreed. Some argued that Spinosaurus, with its paddle-like feet and heavy body, was a specialized fisher rather than a top predator. Its bite was weaker than that of T-Rex, its legs shorter, and its movements slower on land. It might have been a giant of its domain, but a king that reigned mostly in water. Still, the discovery cracked the myth of T-Rex as the unrivaled apex of dinosaur evolution. There had been others different, perhaps greater, who ruled in their own kingdoms long before the tyrant lizard appeared. Far across the ocean and deeper in time, another rival emerged. In what is now South America, about 95 million years ago, the plains of Argentina trembled beneath the steps of Giganotosaurus carolinii. This predator was a member of the Carcharodontosaur family, named for their shark-like teeth. Giganotosaurus was built for speed and aggression. It measured almost 45 feet long and weighed nearly 8 tons, rivaling the size of T-Rex. But where T-Rex had massive crushing jaws, Giganotosaurus had slicing ones. Its blade-shaped teeth could shear through flesh like knives. It hunted the gigantic herbivores of its time, including the colossal Argentinosaurus, which could reach 100 feet in length. The battle between these two titans, Giganotosaurus and Argentinosaurus, must have been like a slow-motion war between mountains. Fossil evidence shows that the predator may have hunted in coordinated packs, using intelligence and endurance rather than sheer bite force. Its long, muscular tail balanced its speed, and its arms were longer and more functional than those of T-Rex. Where the tyrant of the north relied on brute power, the giant of the south ruled through agility and teamwork. In many ways, it was a different kind of king, a strategist rather than a brawler. Even further north, in what is now Asia, another contender prepared to take the throne. Tarbosaurus bataar, often called the Asian cousin of T-Rex, lived in Mongolia's Gobi Desert about 70 million years ago. Similar in size and strength, it shared many traits with its American relative, but its narrower skull and sharper teeth hinted at different hunting strategies. The desert it ruled was dry, harsh, and filled with sand dunes rather than lush forests. In that barren land, speed and precision mattered more than brute force. Tarbosaurus may have been leaner, faster, and every bit as deadly as T-Rex. And then there was Carcharodontosaurus saharicus, the shark-toothed lizard, which lived in North Africa around the same time as Spinosaurus. Measuring up to 45 feet long, it was built like a running blade, sleek and powerful, its jaws lined with 8-inch serrated teeth. It preyed on huge herbivores such as Paralititan, a dinosaur that could rival a modern whale in weight. In its prime, Carcharodontosaurus was the land counterpart to Spinosaurus's aquatic reign. Africa, at that time, was a continent divided by water and life, where two apex predators ruled side by side, one on land, one in the rivers. If T-Rex was a king, it was only one among many, each ruling a different world. But what made T-Rex so dominant in our imagination was not size alone. It was the evidence of intelligence, keen senses, and power. Studies of its skull reveal that it had one of the largest brains of any carnivorous dinosaur, with advanced vision and an extraordinary sense of smell. It may have been capable of complex hunting behavior and possibly social interactions. Its bite, measured through computer models, remains the most powerful of any known terrestrial animal, past or present. When it bit into bone, it could crush and swallow it whole, digesting the marrow inside. In the ecosystem of late Cretaceous North America, there was no rival large enough to challenge it. Still, if the title of king is measured by global reign, adaptability, and evolutionary endurance, another name must be considered Allosaurus, the ancient conqueror of the Jurassic. Living nearly 90 million years before T-Rex, Allosaurus was smaller but far more widespread. Its fossils have been found across North America, Europe, and Africa, showing that it thrived for millions of years in multiple ecosystems. Unlike T-Rex, which reigned for only a few million years before extinction, Allosaurus endured through time, surviving climatic changes and shifting continents. Its jaws could open nearly 90 degrees, and it may have hunted in coordinated groups. If survival defines royalty, Allosaurus might be the true king of the carnivores. To uncover the true monarch, we must also look beyond brute size or strength. The most successful dinosaur might not have been the largest predator, but the one whose legacy endured longest. In that sense, the crown belongs not to the thunderous hunters, but to their descendants, the birds. Every sparrow, eagle, and penguin alive today carries the genetic memory of the dinosaurs. Through them, the lineage that began with beasts like Allosaurus, Spinosaurus, and T-Rex still rules the skies. The reign of dinosaurs never truly ended. It merely changed its form. Yet there is something poetic about how each contender reflects a different kind of dominance. Spinosaurus ruled water, Giganotosaurus dominated the southern plains, Carcharodontosaurus reigned over ancient deserts, and T-Rex mastered the forests of the north. Each adapted perfectly to its realm, each the king of its own empire. Evolution, after all, crowns not the strongest, but the most adaptable. Imagine standing in one of those lost worlds. The air is thick with humidity, dragonflies the size of hawks glide over marshes, and the ground shakes with each step of giants. A Spinosaurus wades through the shallows, nostrils flaring as it senses fish below. In the distance, a Giganotosaurus strides across the open plain, its shadow sweeping over herds of grazing titans. Thousands of miles away, and millions of years later, a T-Rex lets out a thunderous roar that echoes through conifer forests. These creatures never met, yet they share the same lineage of dominance, the same endless contest for survival. As paleontologists continue to uncover fossils from hidden deserts and forgotten riverbeds, our image of these rulers keeps evolving. Computer scans and biomechanical models reveal that Spinosaurus may have used its tail as a propulsive fin, swimming like a crocodile. Giganotosaurus, once thought to be a solitary hunter, may have lived in coordinated packs. Even T-Rex, long painted as a solitary monster, might have cared for its young or scavenged when necessary. The deeper we look, the more we see that the line between predator and parent, between king and caretaker, is far more blurred than we imagined. The mystery of who truly ruled the Mesozoic is not a competition of trophies, but a story of adaptation and survival. Every dominant species rose because the world shaped it to fill a need and fell when that need changed. Spinosaurus ruled until the rivers dried. Giganotosaurus vanished when climate shifted and prey dwindled. T-Rex reigned until an asteroid ended the Cretaceous age in an instant of cosmic chance. Each king was absolute in its time, but time itself was the only lasting ruler. When the dust settled after the impact 66 million years ago, the giants were gone, but the smallest survived. Feathered dinosaurs that once darted between the legs of T-Rex inherited the Earth. Their descendants learned to fly, filling the skies their ancestors could only dream of. The crown of the dinosaurs passed quietly from thunder to song. Today, when we watch an eagle dive or a heron stalk fish in the shallows, we are seeing echoes of that ancient power. The killer instinct, the precision of movement, the dominance over environment, all were forged in the age of the dinosaurs. The real king, perhaps, is not a single creature, but the entire legacy that refused to die. Still, the myth of T-Rex endures for a reason. It embodies the awe and terror of deep time. Its bones tell a story of raw strength, but also of fragility. The same forces that created it, climate, evolution, chance destroyed it. Its crown was borrowed, not owned. When we call it the king of the dinosaurs, we are really honoring the entire dynasty it represents. Across all these discoveries, one truth stands firm. Nature does not care for titles, only balance. The real king of the dinosaurs may have been Spinosaurus in the rivers, Giganotosaurus on the plains, or Allosaurus across continents. But in the end, the only species to carry their bloodline into the modern world did not roar or bite its sang. From the fossilized jaws of giants to the fragile bones of a sparrow, the line of kings continues. Power changed shape, but the spirit remained. The reign of dinosaurs never ended. It simply traded teeth for feathers and thunder for flight. And perhaps that is the most fitting truth of all. The real king of the dinosaurs is not the one that terrified its world, but the one whose descendants still rule ours.